I've been listening to music ever since I can remember. And then one day, I heard a song that hurt me back. So I turned myself into a tape, recording stories from people who made my life sound better. Because every song is a conversation. Waiting to begin. Most often when someone asks me, what do you want to do now? I'm almost half tempted to say, play me another song. Or give me another chance to talk about it. Let me make Songversations even when the camera is not on. Just like this. Where we have with us here today one of India's most seasoned musicians. Because between 1380 and A.R. Rahman, he managed to find a world of his own. George Peter, welcome to Songversations.
Thank you, Nitin.
Georgie, this is much more weird and exciting than I thought because we sort of hang out every once in a while.
I know.
And I'm thinly disguising this as an interview, which it's not.
Okay.
So that's sort of where I want to start. I've always known you as somebody who sort of walks into a room and fills it with so much creative energy. It's almost infectious. I've seen this in person. And I'm sure it sort of applies on stage as well when you're surrounded by thousands of people. Tell me about the moment you realized you could affect people like this at a personal level, at such a large scale, as an artist and as a person.
Well, Nitin, to be honest, every time I get on stage, like everybody says, it's a new experience. And to be honest with you, when I get on stage, even now, my knees knock. Yeah, kind of. But then something kind of overtakes that feeling. It overwhelms me, the entire audience. Our Janson, our complete, exactly that. The what do you call it? It's like a phenomenon, and I don't know how to explain this, but at that moment when I'm on stage, something actually fills me. I don't know what that is, but it's probably something to do with the divine, I guess, because when you actually get on stage and when you actually have a sea of people in front of you, and when you don't know what to do next, and when you do what you can do best, is sing, and get everybody to sing along with you, and I try to make sure that I connect with everybody. And I think probably that's one of the reasons why you feel that way.
Do you recall a time when you first realized you could do this effortlessly as a musician?
Again, to tell you, when I joined 1380, way back in 92, I had a band called Valhalla.
Yeah.
Yeah. Valhalla.
Yes.
So I was the bassist of the band, not the front man. Yeah. But I would always go down to Sea Lord and check Polly out because he was my idol, Polly. Yeah. His slap bass technique, and Polly gave me this video cassette of Stuart Ham. And I would, really spend a lot of time sitting on it and learning the slap technique and all that. Then I go down to 1380. I actually watched a few of their shows. But to answer this question, the one person who's actually inspired me in a live scene, as in when you actually can see the person in front of you. Obviously, you couldn't see Michael Jackson or Elton John for that matter. But a person that I could actually see and see performing was Usha Didi, Usha Uthup. The energy she has on stage, the charisma, the way she effortlessly handles a concert. I mean, these are the little things which transformed into huge things for me, learning experiences.
You always remark she's had a profound influence on you as a person.
No, big time, yes. See, the thing is, she's a true musician. I need to talk about Didi, and I hope Didi is listening to this. She's like a mother, to be honest with you. She's such a sweetheart. And Didi is always that elder sister who was always she was always supporting the band in its way, even 1380 for that matter.
Yes.
And a lot of things that have actually happened in my life, because even when 1380 disbanded, and I needed a person that I could actually talk to, relate to. And I called Didi up and I told her, Didi, I've got a song like this, why don't you listen to it? She loved it instantaneously and she said, Georgie, I want to take this song. I was like floored. And it seemed that she'd actually performed this song a few places. And then when the World Cup, FIFA World Cup came about a few years ago, I mean, not the last one, the one before that, it was, it goes around the world, the World Cup. So she performed at the stadium in Calcutta somewhere, and she sang my song for that. I composed a song for her. So that, see, these are all little things that actually add up to my resume.
George, I want to go back a few years and talk about 1380 and the scene back then.
Yeah.
Because Kochi used to be this sort of den for independent music. A lot of interesting things were happening. The scene was sort of figuring itself out. And there came your transition between Valhalla and 1380. Tell me about your induction into the band and your association with it, because you've also been associated with the band as a fanboy before being a member.
Quite.
So tell me about the before and after.
In fact, Valhalla was everything to me, because being a bassist was a challenge for me, because I'd never played the bass before.
You've never been trained?
No. Not trained formally, no.
Okay.
I don't have any classical training. I just and I'd like to brag that it's God's gift.
Yeah.
And yes, it is. So, apart from that, when I joined Valhalla, like I said, playing the bass guitar I was like, it's just 4 strings, what am I going to do with it? But then when I actually got into it is when I realized what a fantastic instrument it is. Then I picked up songs, by Police. And we were actually a 3-piece band, 3 to 4-piece band, Valhalla. And we basically picked up a lot of songs. Then I got to playing Iron Maiden. I got to singing Maiden and playing the bass. A few techniques here and there. Then I met Polly again. I'm talking about, I'm sorry, it's all jumbled up.
No, that's the whole show.
I guess, yeah. So then Valhalla happened, and then I was in the college band. Then we had this show at Town Hall. One of the 1380 members had actually come, Polly, I think, yeah. They kind of heard about the show, and any place that any musician, for that matter, at that point in time, in the old Kochi, way back in the 90s, early 90s, would want to chill out was obviously Sea Lord.
Sea Lord, yeah.
So, with the 3,500 rupees that we got for that concert, of which those guys still owe us 1,500. I don't want to mention the sponsor, but way back. Okay, anyway. So, with that money, we actually walked in to see Lord. We wanted to listen to it. So, we had our little bottles of rum, which we could afford. Get in there. Well, we were not drunkards. By the way, again, I'd like to emphasize we never drink on stage. We do have a social gathering here and there, but that's about it. So we got on, and actually watching the band 1380 was like, we were all awestruck, because that was the first time I actually got to see 1380 play. Well, I've seen concerts, but up so close, we'd take these 10, 20 rupee tickets and be somewhere behind. That's what we used to do. So like I said, I was a big fan of the band before I joined.
Yeah.
So this is like the closest to in the flesh kind of, reality experience for me. And then one of the members So Glenn actually came forward, the singer. He said, "Why don't you sing a song?" I said, "What? I sing a song with the band." I was like, "Oh, you must be joking." My friend called Riju was there. So I asked Riju to do it. He said, "No, George, I'm lost. You go ahead." I said, "Okay." So I was just about to start mine. So then I thought, let me go sing when I'm sane.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, a bike lands up at my house. It was Polly. He comes and says, "Heard you singing good, and why didn't you come and sing at Sea Lord on and off?" I said, "What?"
For the band.
For the, in sense, come and sing. He never mentioned about 1380 or anything. He just said, "Why don't you come and sing with the band for some time?" I said, "Okay." I said, "Great. Why don't you come maybe one of these days?" I said, "When? I can come today. I can come now." He said, "No. Come maybe tomorrow or something like that." So the next day I landed there. And apparently they gave me a song. And that was like the entrance exam. It was like the All India, what do you call it? The MBBS,
forward, right?
the entrance, whatever. It was that induction kind of a song. And that was When a Man Loves a Woman.
Wow, yeah, one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, so that kind of took off quite well. After which, well, one statement, or rather the way in which Polly actually asked me about joining the band at that point in time is like, if you ever have to leave your band, will you do it? I said no. I was like, Valhalla was it. He said, "No, think further." I said, "Like what?" But then I said, if I have to leave a band, I'll only join one band. And then he asked me, "Is it Shiva?" I said, "No." "Is it Rock Machine?" I said, "No." "Then it's got to be us." I said, "Yes." That's when he said, "Okay, come tomorrow."
Glorious time.
Yeah, man.
So much drama and genuine.
Big time. It was like, my heart was. That is how it was.
Georgie, I want to talk about A.R. Rahman, which you've always maintained. It's been one of the most creatively satisfying, significant relationships you've had in your life, both personally and professionally.
Yeah.
Before we talk about the repertoire of work you've shared over the years, tell me something about this association, because this was probably your first glimpse of genius at work, right? And you saw him you worked with him so closely over the years.
Yes.
What is the stuff of legend made of?
I would put it in just one word: humility. That's what real legends are made of. And humility and perseverance and dedication and fear of God. I have not seen another man like that. A.R. Rahman, or for that matter, ARR as I call him, as the entire industry calls him, who are close to him. He's a phenomenon, of course, and we all know that. But beyond that phenomenon, he's actually a child inside. He's like your buddy in the sense he's not buddy in the sense I wouldn't put it that way. I would rather say that when we're actually, or rather the moments that I've had with him, when we're actually in the studio, when I wrote a song to which, or rather I wrote lyrics to a song that he composed called One Vision, which was a short story by the then President of India,
Dr. Kalam.
Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, yes. It was based on his short story Ignited Minds. He gave me a fax copy. The first question he asked me, see, this is where everything plays up. Everything actually comes and starts playing up, because when I told you that Didi kind of helped me out here, Mohanlal, Lalatin, I got a little close with him around that time.
Wow.
When I did the jingle for BPL Mobile.
Yes.
Yeah. Sujit Sarkar right now, who's done
The Piku man.
Piku, yeah. So I worked for him at that point. So these are little things which actually, not little things, these were big things for me, which I could actually tell AR about. Because he asked me, who have you worked for? I said, I've written a song for Usha Vadu. I've worked with Mohanlal on his jingle. Lalatin. And see, these were the little things here. And then I said, I was 1380, of course. 1380 was my biggest label, whatever. And all these little things actually came to play when I told AR that okay, these are the things that I've done in life. And when he gave me a fax copy and he said, okay, in that case, why don't you why don't you elaborate on this? And he gave me a fax copy with Small Aim is a Crime, One Vision, United India, stuff like that. And he asked me to, excerpts from the story. And he asked me to write. So I sat in the lounge and I started penning down, whatever I could think of. And I wrote around 3-4 pages of stuff. I dozed off. This is like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Just you and him, huh?
Yeah. It was just him and me, but at the same time, he told me when you work it out in the lounge outside because he was doing some music. He was kind of preparing stuff for that. He had some melody going and for something else, of course. Then I started writing this and I kind of dozed off. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. ARR works at night, everybody knows that. So, writing the song, I dozed off, like I said, and I had this cap on, okay? So I was like, if anybody opened the door, I could open my eyes and I could pretend I was awake.
Yeah.
And I slept off. Somebody wakes me up. I opened my eyes at A.R. Rahman. I couldn't believe it. It's that moment when you actually wake up and, it's like a dream come true and are you in a dream, I even asked, boss, can you pinch me? He laughed it off. We walked in. So that's that moment, when... And if you ask me to work with him, he gives you total freedom. He gets the best out of you. That's the best thing about him, And I think all musicians who are true to their craft, they listen to others. Music is not about selfishness, it's not jealous. So I think this is where he defined it in front of me. It's not a put-on thing.
Sure.
It's never put on for ARR.
And I think that sort of set the tone for you in terms of your process of composing itself, because I've always sort of believed that your the Unity song was an offshoot of this experience for you.
Yeah.
Because it somehow infused you with larger social themes like, integration and sense of belonging and so on. Can you tell us about the time between One Vision and the Unity song?
One Vision was the most remarkable thing that happened to me. To actually sit, as you said, Nitin. Well, this is how we sat. ARR here, his comp, his console, his music system and all that. But not music, his keyboard, his entire system there, his plugins, his VSTs and all those things. And me sitting here. And halfway through the composing, he picks up a small Roland mic. He shows it to me. I said, great mic, sir. What kind of a mic is this? He said, this is what I used to sing Dil Se.
Jesus.
And I was like, wow, that's actually a hi-hat mic for the hi-hats. It's a Roland, I forget the serial number, whatever, the model. This is what he said, this is what I used to sing Dil Se. And he was so cool about it. It's like he's sharing his experiences. And he became a friend. Totally. It was just AR and me in the studio for 3 days. Of course, we'll have our breaks.
Get any better than that?
Yeah. Shivakumar was there. Sridhar would walk in. But that's it. Nobody else. It's just the doors are there. And he'll have his Earl Grey tea on and off. He's got this little, pantry. A little pantry with these peanut nuts and stuff like that. Kadala. It's his favorite, And sometimes he goes for prayer and he comes back with foxes, These are the toffees and he just fling one at you. So I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the fact that I'm actually sitting with AR, AR Rahman, the man. We start composing the song and then The way he composed it, he said, George, how's this, how's this, how's this? I was like, why is he asking me? He's a genius. But that's how simple he is. That's humility. What am I? What is he? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But he always likes to give you your space, especially in music. And when we were writing lyrics, small aim is a crime. And we both came out with the next line. What would it be? If I had to tell you, small aim is a crime, what would be the next line that might come to you as well, Nitin? You write a lot. Small aim is a crime.
How did that come to you?
It just hit us. Small aim is a crime. We both came out with, we are running out of time. And we did a high five. And I couldn't believe I'm doing a high five with him. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's that moment where you realize that there's a lot of things happening around you.
Too many good things.
Too many things. We had a good rapport going, AR and me. In fact, he would joke about the fact that when we would നാട്ടിൽ വരുമ്പോൾ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് address ചെയ്യുന്നത് ബഹുമാനപ്പെട്ട റഹ്മാൻ. After which, any email I would send him would be ബഹുമാനപ്പെട്ട റഹ്മാൻ, you know.
Yeah, that's very typical, characteristic of you.
Yeah. He would call me George.
George.
And there is George. George. George is, hey George, where are you? The boss here around the corner. Come, we got some work. Great.
So what was the final One Vision track that
One Vision,
came out of
okay.
it?
One Vision, what happened was, 3 days we composed a song, or we wrote the song. He had this amazing chord progressions happening. We recorded the song. We got kids, rather I conducted the kids to sing this. And then we performed, well, the 4th day he said, you're flying with me to Delhi. I said, what? I said, yeah, come with me to Delhi. We're meeting the President of India. I couldn't believe it. So the 4th day we fly down to Delhi. I had the opportunity to meet the President. And that day we were staying at the Hyatt, near the airport, I think. I think it was the Hyatt. When AR told me, George, Andrew's during the month of Ramadan. And he was fasting, and when his fast was over, around that time, he told me something and he said, George, your name will be on the CD. And it's going to go to every child in India. It's a song that should inspire every child in India, and you've written lyrics to it. I said, sir, I'm floored. I don't know what is in my eyes, you know, my eyes welled up and stuff. But somehow, for some reason, I think it's protocol, I don't know, that song never released. And that was like the biggest blow of my life as well. But you know, AR being who he is, the great gem of a person that he is. Well, for that matter, he said, he never told me then because he himself didn't know. But that day he told me, join me on the world tour. I was like floored again. I mean, too many things happening. All over 4-5 days, you know, so I couldn't believe it.
You should have carried a pacemaker or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. So these things happened at that time, but then, you know, I think for some reason, when this didn't happen, he also kind of felt it, because it was a great song. It's
Can
actually,
you play us a bit of that?
I don't know chords again.
Sing us a bit of that.
Watch your dreams fly, watch your dreams fly. Yes, you and I, we can make it happen if we only try. Ignite your mind, knowledge lamp light. We can make it happen if we only try. Standing here and taking a step is all we have to do to see. Ra-na-na-na, echoes of the distant drums make our heart beat as one. One vision for a better world. We'll build our nation high with our ignited minds. Small aim is a crime. We're running out of time. We'll build our nation high, making a promise. Something like that, you know?
Yeah. Could have been your Imagine song, I believe, had it been out.
Yeah, I know. It would have. In fact, it's the very first time I'm actually singing this out.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't think anybody's even heard this.
Yeah.